It's a great question, and it means many things to many different people. But I would certainly argue or put to a client at the outset, financial planning is about understanding their goals and objectives in life and putting something in place that helps them achieve those. Often, when a client first comes to see me, they'll have a specific question. I've got a pension. Should I do this? Should I do that? I've got an investment. I've inherited some money. What should I do? And it's very numbers driven. They'll come with a piece of paper with some facts and figures on, and that is their focus. And you have to re-educate them and put that to one side and say, look, it's an important piece of your financial future, but it is only a piece. What we actually need to think of is this bigger picture. Where are you now? Where would you like to be? What are your aspirations in life? Have you given them any thought? There's only ever been one client who came to me already in that mindset. And that was because his wife had been diagnosed with bowel cancer. Thankfully, she'd made a full recovery, but they had a full, clear idea of when they were going to retire, what holidays they were going to do, how often they were going to do it, what they were going to do with their family and friends. And that mindset really, really helped them understand what financial planning was. My goal really is to try to get clients to obviously not have such a bad life experience to make that decision, but to help people understand this is where we need to be thinking. This is what we need to be concentrating on. And once we have those goals and objectives, we can sort of cost them. We can work out what these things will cost. We can put a timeline on them. When are these events going to happen? And once we understand that bigger picture, then we can start to build a plan that says, well, how do we get from where we are now to where you want to be? What things do we need to put in place? There's a growth of education online. You can find so much information out there. There's a growth in DIY platforms. More and more people are starting to realize that you can directly invest yourself in index funds at very low cost. But as I stress to clients when we sit down initially, the actual product is simply a piece of the puzzle. It's understanding how everything fits together. And of course, in the UK, we have effectively 2 budgets a year almost. Legislation changes, rules change, what people can and can't do changes. So a lot of the time I'm sort of acting almost like an educational partner for my clients. And then, of course, there's the behavioralist side of things, making sure clients don't do things that are, detrimental. And yes, you can do things yourself, and for some people, they don't need advice, and that's great. But there is a large number of people out there that could be in danger of making the wrong choice or making the wrong decision. I'm not realizing it now. It's only maybe the effects 10, 20, 30 years down the line, by which time it's too late to do anything about it. So when you build a financial plan, it's never 100% accurate outset. You try to get it as accurate as it can be. But all of these plans are based upon long-term assumptions. Now, the minute that you walk out the door, it's already out of date. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize that if you kept that sort of view for the next 10 or 20 years, the plan that was designed all that time ago would bear very, very little resemblance to where somebody ends up. So every year you have to assess some of those things that you've assumed. Things will change over time. And a financial plan that you build needs to be adaptable. You can't just set it and forget it. I think one thing you could definitely say is that if you built a plan now and didn't address it, it's guaranteed to be wrong later in life. I think the long-term value of working with an advisor is building up trust and having somebody there that's reliable, that can help for a number of different reasons. One, we all know at some point there's going to be some bad news along the way in some capacity. And it's having somebody that you can pick up the phone to who can help you straight away. I think from a positive perspective as well, what clients want to have is a positive understanding of the position that they're in and not then be worrying through the year. Working with an advisor helps people just get on with their life and enjoy it, knowing that somebody is there helping them to look after things.